Good morning, St. Lucia, and welcome to This Morning Waking Up in the Know with me, Jenna and Gaston. It is Friday, June 3rd, 2016. The weekend is here, and I hope everyone enjoys the fact that the weekend is here. A recap of last evening's headlines. We're going to start with the usual politics because elections is on Monday. So, UW supporter Timothy Mangal has responded to remarks by the Labour Party that he converged on the office of the Infrastructure Minister in search of contracts. Don Nicholas has more in this report.
Former SLP candidate Timothy Mangal, who is currently supporting the UWP, was responding to remarks that he came to the Ministry of Infrastructure in search of contracts for construction projects. Mangal admitted that he did send in a tender or proposal for a particular project, but when he received no response, he did not pursue it any further.
When I was requested by the technical staff of his ministry to tender for the canneries project, I did so. I was asked to tender, and so I tendered. But I know what happens in tender. There's a chance of you winning or you losing the tender. When I heard nothing after the tender, I simply left it as that.
Castries Southeast MP Guy Joseph, for his part, spoke about the manner in which contracts are being awarded, a topic which he has spoken about from time to time.
This contractor receives every single contract there is for river desilting in the Bexon area. Every time we've had 3 sets of flooding, and the same contractor has been mobilized on all 3 occasions.
Mr. Joseph said that in 1997 he supported the SLP candidate at the time, Manisa Rambali, but he said the change he had hoped for never came about. For the DBS News World, I am Don Nicholas.
And in other news, something other than politics, the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, is urging the public to be vigilant amid the hurricane season, which was officially declared open on June 1st. Don Nicholas also has that story.
Officials say there is a likelihood of 10 to 16 named storms developing. Now that the hurricane season has officially started, the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, has begun putting its mechanisms in place to help cushion the impact of any natural disasters.
NEMO, remember, is the coordinating agency for all responses once an alert system has changed. So basically, NEMO has many arms. All of the ministries are part of NEMO. Most of the other sectors are part of NEMO.
NEMO is calling on the public to be vigilant and to heed warnings. Those living in low-lying areas and other areas prone to flooding are asked to be especially alert for evacuation warnings.
And so what we're also trying to do is to get persons to realize that they are part of NEMO by being prepared, doing the things that they could do at home for themselves. So for instance, ensuring that they have canned stuff, ensuring that there is adequate supply of water, ensuring that all of the insurance documents and the insurance are up to date. So these are the things that we could always do.
The numbers for this year include Hurricane Alex and Tropical Storm Bonnie, which formed in January and May, respectively. For the DBS News World, I am Don Nicholas.
Now guys, I was told that I actually have a hurricane named after me. Yes, there's a Hurricane Gaston. So I don't know if it's a good thing that I'm looking forward to that, but Hurricane Gaston, I hope you are not as forceful and as dangerous as I am. Guys, when we come back, your daily horoscope is up next. Welcome back, St. Lucia. It is now time for your daily horoscope.
Aries, though you naturally tend to be sensitive to the feelings of others, today you might be so in touch with the needs and desires of those around you that you sense what they want even before they know it. Taurus, today you might feel especially idealistic regarding your relationship. You're likely to see those closest to you in the best of light. Romantic partners may seem like characters from a fairy tale. This is a good time to move a love relationship to the next level of commitment. Gemini, Today you might feel the need to be of service to others. Your humanitarian instincts are high. Gemini, though you might tend to over-idealize the concept a little, it's wonderful to help those less fortunate, but often the process involves a heavy commitment of time and energy. Cancer, the arts might seem especially appealing today. Although you could fall in love, if you're currently involved, expect circumstances to develop that show the exiled side of your partner that you sometimes forget. If you aren't involved, expect someone wonderful to appear. Leo, a number of powerful events could increase the level of love and positive energy in your home. Visitors with a spiritual focus could bring some new and exciting information. Good news that you never expected could raise everyone's spirits. Virgo, some new people who appear interesting could move into your neighborhood and excite your curiosity. Spiritual conversations could take place today over phone or over coffee. The concepts might be deep and inspiring, yet bring up more questions than answers. Libra, experiences you never expected come your way today. A talent that you didn't know you had come to light. This might involve a combination of arts and technology, such as computer graphics or animation, or it might involve spiritual or humanitarian work. Scorpio, you usually tend towards rational and scientific ways of thinking, but today you might be so intuitive that you're more likely to use your psyche abilities. This can be a mixed blessing. Your rational nature protects you from identifying too much with the world's less fortunate. Sagittarius, you're normally intuitive, but today you might feel more psyche than you ever dreamed you could. Information received from the media could have you picking up physically on the thoughts and feelings of people you never met. This can be emotionally overwhelming and overpowering, so protect yourself by keeping the white light around you. Capricorn, today you could feel especially intuitive and more sensitive than usual to unacceptable social and political conditions. Ideas for new goals, perhaps humanitarian, might come to you. You should be in an especially idealistic mood, so you might come up with wonderful possibilities that aren't workable now. Aquarius, today you might toy with the idea of making either the arts and humanitarians or the spread of higher consciousness your life's work. Business and money are going well for you, and you might be thinking in terms of a future in which you can write your own career ticket. Pisces, your mind could be focused on spiritual concepts today. You might decide to make an effort to study spiritual or metaphysical materials, or attend a lecture, workshop, or meditation session with people who share this interest. You might also think about traveling to a country associated with a specific spiritual tradition.
That has been your daily horoscope for today, June 3rd, 2016. When we come back, I've got Dr. Philip joining me, and she's got a very, very interesting topic. And welcome back, guys, and joining me as always is the Dr. Philip. How are you doing, Miss Philip?
I'm good, I'm great, thanks.
Now, Doc has a really interesting topic for us to talk about here. Let's call this
Man
Fridays. Men,
Yes.
I hope you all are listening. Usually I have the audience of women. Gentlemen, this morning, pay attention to what the doctor has to tell you. You will find it very fulfilling and educational. What are we talking about today?
Okay, this morning we're going to talk about erectile dysfunction or impotence.
Right.
And this is the inability to get or keep an erection sufficient for sexual intercourse. And I guess everyone is wondering why we're talking about this morning, because it's a common issue that plagues our society. 1 in 10 men suffer from impotence, and up to 40% of men in St. Lucia can suffer from erectile dysfunction or impotence.
Wow.
This is mainly seen in diabetic men,
Okay.
Men with diabetes, 1/3 of diabetic men
Right.
suffer from erectile dysfunction.
Right.
So it's very important issue. The ability to get an erection is very important for most men, old and young. And a lot of men, I would say, suffer in silence without seeking help or proper medical advice, not from their friend
Right.
who told them to just drink this or drink
Or
that
CMOS or something
or
like that,
take this
yeah.
pill. I'm talking about seeking help from your general practitioner or a urologist who is the specialist for erectile
That is fine.
dysfunction and
Now,
impotence.
I'm glad that you raised the topic that a lot of men, they suffer in silence,
Yes.
because I know that this is not something that men will just come forth and say, hey, I can't get hard on, or I can't stand up anymore. And you know, society laughs at
Yes,
that, and so
yes.
it's because we laugh of it, or we, you know, we grin or we snuckle like how I just did a while ago. That's why many people don't feel comfortable enough to come forth and say, hey, I have this problem. But I mean, I'm not a psychologist, but I would think that some men maybe suffer some serious depression,
Oh yes.
not being able to.
We're going to discuss that a little later because there are physical reasons
Right.
why one can have erectile dysfunction as well as psychological reasons.
Okay.
Okay, so I would say there are 5 main causes of erectile dysfunction,
Okay.
which include vascular disease. When I say vascular disease, I'm talking about our chronic illnesses, hypertension and high cholesterol, diabetes, nerve disorders, pelvic surgery or injury.
Right.
That's down there, pelvic,
Okay.
and medications and drug abuse. These are the 5 main causes of why one would have erectile dysfunction or impotence.
And when we talk about drug abuse, you're talking about the excessive use of marijuana,
Excessive
and cocaine,
use of marijuana. Sometimes we have patients that smoke about 20 joints a day, and
Wow.
they have this issue coming up, and it's related to erectile dysfunction,
Right.
as well as the chronic illnesses, the hypertension, diabetes,
Right.
related to erectile dysfunction. Now, when I tell you about how an erection occurs, you probably be better able to understand why this is related to clogged arteries from high cholesterol or hypertension.
Right. So how does let's take it all back to the beginning, the basics, and tell
Yes.
us how does an erection occur? She told me off camera, and I was like, didn't you have to turn them on?
Yes, well, there must be an arousal, sexual desire.
Right.
So when there's arousal, nerve impulses from the brain travel to the penis, and this triggers relaxation and the muscles in the penis.
So the brain actually does
Yes.
control down there. You know, men like to say, "Oh, my penis have a brain of its own."
No, no.
Well, guess what,
You have
guys?
one
The
brain.
doctor says you only have one brain, so we can stop using that excuse now.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right. So when that's trigger and the muscle in the penis relax, that allows it to fill with blood. Okay. And this filling causes compression of the veins
Right.
in the penis, and which causes the erection. Okay. And then after the arousal is over or ejaculation, then
It goes back down.
yes, it goes back down. So basically, for an erection to occur, you need hormones, you need an adequate blood flow to the penis, you need intact nerves, and you need a sexual desire.
Right.
So that directly relates to why the physical causes of erectile dysfunction.
Right.
So if there's a hormone imbalance, that's one cause.
Okay.
Okay. A deficiency in the male hormones can cause erectile dysfunction. If there's nerve damage,
Right.
okay, reduced sensitivity, it reduces the signals from
Right.
the brain to
Okay.
the penis.
Doesn't send that signal to tell him, hey.
Yes, right. And vascular diseases, and I'm talking about hypertension, high cholesterol, because it clogs the blood flow. It restricts the blood flow because you
Yeah.
need the blood flow in the penis for an erection to occur. Obesity, diabetes, all these vascular related
So,
issues.
in other words, guys, you know, a lot of women have jumped on the whole health craze, but you know, guys, you really need to take it a lot more seriously, because by eating healthy and taking care of your body,
Yes.
you can have a longer sex life, I guess.
Definitely, definitely. Trauma to the area,
Right.
pelvic surgery can cause erectile dysfunction. Drugs, cocaine, marijuana, excessive alcohol use causes erectile dysfunction.
And you know, Doc, it's interesting you say that, because you know, a lot of guys, especially young boys, who have now started with, you know, using substances such as marijuana and alcohol, they think that if they drink 6 Guinness, they're good to go for the night. You know, that's what they need. They need a 6 Guinness and they're ready to go. But what they don't realize is that, you know,
It has its effects.
Yeah.
Okay. Prolonged cycling, bicycling.
yeah,
When I say prolonged for extended periods, that can cause
you sit on that bike like that.
nerve compression and affect the function. Okay, and of course there's a psychological component to erectile dysfunction. Stress, depression, anxiety, relationship problems, embarrassment, guilt, and other psychological problems all affect erectile dysfunction. It has maybe 1 in 10 maybe psychological reasons. There's more the physical aspects like the hypertension, diabetes.
Yeah.
But definitely psychological issues.
Definitely, I can see it. Just I can relate, or I can see more so the psychological issues, how that can affect a man.
Yes.
For sure.
And of course, a man with erectile dysfunction is even more anxious and embarrassed. So there's the performance anxiety, you know. So it's definitely important issue we're talking about tonight.
There you have it, guys. You see, I told you that we had an interesting conversation here this morning. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, I want to know from Dr. Philip about the emergency room. If she's ever had to attend to someone with a stiffy that just won't go down, and how you deal with that sort of...
well, that's another issue. That's another issue.
How we deal with that, or if you have had guys who come in complaining that it won't go up. So when we come back, there's so much more.
Which is very common.
Yep. When we get back, there's so much more for us to talk about. Alright guys, welcome back, and we've been having an interesting Friday morning, and it's generated to you men out there. I hope you're listening, and ladies, if he's not listening, listen carefully so you can pass on the message.
Yes.
Or you can start checking for yourself.
Yes.
You can start securing your property, or whatever you want to call it. It's Friday, guys, let's lighten up here.
Yes.
So tell me, Doc, how can you go about treating this problem? Is it treatable at all?
It is definitely treatable.
Okay, good. So there's hope.
Yes, there is hope. You need to talk about it. You need to talk about it to your partner. You need to talk about it to your medical general practitioner or nurse. So first of all, you need to present yourself to the doctor to discuss about it. They're probably going to give you a questionnaire like this one, which we're going to put up. And it talks about your sex life over the last 6 months.
Right.
And it gives you a score.
Okay.
Which
fill it out.
Yes. And the scoring will be able to show signs of erectile dysfunction, and will be able to help us about your treatment and to what extent you have an erectile dysfunction.
And where can you get this?
When you go to the doctor's office, they would give you that questionnaire to fill out.
Okay.
But it's available online, and we'll put it up as well. Okay, so you need to present yourself. The doctor is going to take a detailed history with you. Like I said, hypertension, diabetes, high cholesterol, all these are causes of erectile dysfunction. Your medication history, certain drugs, including prescription medications for hypertension, and anxiety can also cause erectile dysfunction. So the doctor really needs to go into your history as to what may be causing the erectile dysfunction.
Right.
And of course, do a physical examination.
Right.
There are blood tests to do. We have to do blood tests, your lipid profile,
Right.
Your cholesterol, your diabetic control. So we could better know what is causing.
What's going on there?
Yes, so we need to find out what the cause is, okay? Now, or hormonal tests, because remember I said hormones can
Hormones
also
play a part,
yes,
right.
so basically hormones, your lipid studies are done, and other tests. So the tests are done. If this is a psychological component, we need to factor that in. And treatment includes counseling.
Right.
There are tablet treatments.
Okay.
First line treatments, I'm sure many know about Viagra
Right.
or Cialis. And these drugs are not to be taken lightly. You just don't go and take these drugs
Right.
because they also have their side effects. So you really need to see your general practitioner or the urologist. If you call Tapio Hospital, 459-2000, there's a urologist at Tapio Hospital, Dr. David Brathwaite.
Right.
You can make an appointment with him, or you could seek help from your general practitioner.
Okay.
Because a general practitioner can examine
Evaluate
you
you?
and
Okay.
evaluate you, and if needs further treatment, refer
Right.
you to the urologist.
So, Doc, what other treatment? Okay, we know about the Viagra and the Cialis. What other treatments are there?
Okay, if we find out that it is related to hormones, the cause of erectile dysfunction, there's hormonal treatment. Okay, there are self-injection therapies as well, penile implants. There's a whole list of selective treatments
Right.
for erectile dysfunction. But basically, first line is counseling. You have first line treatment with certain pills to take and hormonal treatments.
Right.
Yes.
So, like I said, and I was telling them, I do want to ask you, and we all know that Dr. Philip is the ER doctor at the Tapio Hospital.
Yes.
And so tell us, have you ever had someone come in with a complaint that I can't get it up, I can't get it up? How
Yes,
can I help you?
it's a common issue.
Right. So
Right.
people actually walk in with
Yes.
that complaint?
Yes, yes,
Interesting.
yeah. It's a common issue, and it's very important to men
Well,
and women.
I guess, yes, it must be. And do you have the complaint where they get it up and they can't get it back down?
Definitely, that's also an issue. But that's different. That's not erectile
So it's
dysfunction.
on a different
Yes,
level.
yes.
So when these guys come in with that sort of issue, erectile dysfunction, they can't get it up. How do you go about addressing a situation of that nature, especially as a female talking to a male? How do you go about that?
Okay. Treat every patient the same way.
Right.
Speak to them about it. Find out the possible causes of why they're having the erectile dysfunction. Investigate why they're having the erectile dysfunction. If needs be, refer them to the urologist.
Okay. Makes sense. And so have you ever had patients who are severely depressed over the fact that they can't get it up?
Yes, yes. Men get depressed over that factor because it's also the ego, you
Right.
know.
And it's very alarming to see when they're... What other things can we do to prevent that? Because we all know that prevention is better than cure. So tell us how we can how men can prevent, maybe certain ways or symptoms that you read out here.
Healthy living, control your hypertension, control your diabetes, obesity, exercise, do not smoke, drinking, excessive drinking.
Right.
These are the causes, so that's how you prevent them.
So there you have it, guys. Ladies, take care of your husbands, your boyfriends. Men, take care of yourself. There's no need to go out there and guzzle down the bottles as much as we tend to do. Carnival is coming as well, so let's not overdo it.
Yes,
because
yes.
we want to be able to live nice and long, healthy lives.
Yes.
Dr. Philip is always here, bringing us some very insight and in informational topics. This chart, I just want to read some of the questions for you guys to have a little idea of what it says. It says circle the number next to each of the 5 questions which best represent your answer to that question. I'm going to go to question number 3. During sexual intercourse, how often were you able to maintain your erection after penetration? And then we have almost never, a few times, sometimes, most times, and almost. And you're supposed to circle. They have 5 questions here, and it says to get your score, add up the numbers you have circled from each of the 5 questions. If your total score is 21 or less, you could be showing signs of erectile dysfunction. So guys, you said we can get this online. You can find
Yes,
it.
it's a erectile dysfunction questionnaire.
Right. So you can go online, look for this. If you think in your mind that you're having some problems in that area, go online, look for this. You can mentally do it in your head and check out your score, and maybe that would give you a push to want to visit your general practitioner to go further and get that information. Dr. Philip, thank you so much for joining me here this morning.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
And thank you so much, St. Lucia, for paying attention and always being so wonderful here with us on the morning. I can't wait to see what you bring for us next week. Erectile, don't you tell me, boy, I'm coming for an interesting one. I said, what is it? She tell me, what's it?
Impotence.
Impotence.
Or erectile dysfunction.
Erectile. I said, ha! I'm going to have to censor my mouth here this morning.
Yes.
Because I can't, boy, it must be really hard for you not to be able to use certain local terms when you're in that room talking to a patient. Like you want to tell them, oh, you can't get a hard on, your thing can't get hard, but you can't say it to them like that. You have to say
No, you have to be respectful.
Respectful. That's why I'm not a doctor, guys. That's why I'm not a doctor. Thank you so much, Dr. Philip, for always joining me and understanding the fact that I'm ignorant to most of these topics that you come here with.
That's why I'm here to enlighten.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, St. Lucia. So we'll see you guys next week, Monday. You know what Monday is? Election Day. So Dr. Philip and I would like to encourage everyone to go out to the polls and place your vote. Your vote is needed, and let's see who will become victorious, whether it will be SLP, UWP, or LPM. There you have it, guys. I'll see you guys back on Monday, same place, same time. Bye-bye.